Hi, let's make communion bread using the Rhodes bread. You can find it in the frozen section located at your local grocery store. This is what the package looks like. It says Rhodes at the top, it's orange and blue. It comes in a 3-pack and it comes in a 5-pack. For the most part, we use a 3-pack because it makes 6 loaves, and that's what we'll need for 6 Sundays. In the seasons of Advent, Christmas, Lent, and Easter, we're going to need the 5-pack because you're going to need to make 1 or plus more extra loaves. Take your package out of the freezer the night before that you're going to bake. You can leave your breads in the bag itself and then put that in the refrigerator, the bag in the refrigerator. The next morning, your bread's going to be ready. It'll be nice and thawed. Just as a fair warning, they're going to be a little bit sticky with each other. It's fine because you can pull them apart. You're going to be reshaping them anyways. You're going to need 2 baking sheets, saran wrap or plastic wrap, and oil. You can use either a spray can oil or I use olive oil. I spray it on here. I just rub it all over the place. We don't want the bread sticking to it. And I'll do that for the second one. After taking the bread out of the refrigerator, just simply cut them in half, like so. There are going to be 3 loaves per baking sheet, which is why you have 2 baking sheets. You're going to start working the loaves into a circle form. And basically, you're going to keep trying to tuck this underneath until it gets to be a circle shape. As you can see, I keep tucking and tucking. And then you're going to flatten it on the baking sheet, like so. You're going to do that with all 6 loaves, 3 loaves per baking sheet. And then you're going to let them rise for about 2 to 3 hours. Oh, I almost forgot. You actually need to use some plastic wrap. It doesn't matter what kind. You're going to loosely cover this, but first you're going to spray, and this is where the spray oil comes in handy. You're going to want to spray on the underside of it. And this is to ensure that the bread doesn't stick to the plastic, because it will. I have made that mistake before. And also the plastic's going to keep the bread from drying out as it's rising over the next couple hours. Okay, I took the breads out. I've let them proof for about an hour and a half. They've been rising. I had them in my oven on a proof function, but in the past I have just let them, sit in my kitchen with them being covered with the plastic, turned up the heat in my house if it was during the middle of the winter. It just depends on the situation that you're in. So that's about how big they are. I've already taken my knife, which is just a simple knife, and just basically cut a large cross in the center of each loaf like that. We need it nice and large because then it's easier for when the pastor breaks the bread, it's easier to break it at that scored area. My oven is preheated at 350 degrees and we are gonna pop them in the oven for 25 minutes. Okay, our breads I think are done. They're nice and brown. Take them out of the oven. And then I like to put them on so that they cool a little bit quicker. I like to put them on elevated. You could tell they're nice and hard on the top, which is how we want them. And then now they're gonna cool down probably for a good couple of hours. Okay, now the breads have sufficiently cooled. We're going to be wrapping each one with plastic wrap before putting it into an actual freezer bag. Funny enough, I just realized that I had bought these bags. These are not freezer bags. As you can tell, it's pink at the top. You will know a freezer bag by it being blue. Anyways, you're going to wrap them with a plastic wrap. The purpose of wrapping each one individually is the Altar Guild takes them out one at a time per week. It preserves the freshness of this while it's in the freezer, and it also prevents them from sticking together before going into the freezer. I date them. I date each bread before it going into the bag. And you should be able to fit like 2 in each bag. And that's it. Thank you for joining us.